Welcome into Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan DeLuga. Thanks so much for tuning in here Wednesday, May 28th. Right now, we're talking about the Jaguars' offensive tackles. A couple guys, Anton Harrison and Walker Little, come in as the expected starters, the incumbent starters. Walker Little getting paid like a starter, not like a high-end starter, but he did get a contract from the Jaguars' previous regime during the 2024 season. A move that was really unprecedented by Trent Baalke during his time as a general manager in Jacksonville. Had no desire to extend Josh Hines-Allen during the 2023 campaign, but prioritized his guy who he drafted in the second round of his first draft with the Jaguars, Walker Little. Signed him to a 3-year, $45 million deal, about $15 million per year. Nothing crazy numbers-wise for Walker Little there. And then Anton Harrison is going into year 3. Former first-round pick by Trent Baalke, player that the Jaguars were actually able to trade back twice in the first round and still land in the 2023 NFL draft. So those are your two presumed starting tackles. The Jaguars also signed Chuma Edoga from Dallas. They also signed Fred Johnson from the Philadelphia Eagles. Patrick McCary has tackle experience. So that's kind of what you're working with. I mean, Cole Van Lannon has also played some tackle. He's still here. That's where you're at with this tackle group. I think it is 1,000% fair and accurate to say if Walker Little and Anton Harrison are not the two starters in week 1, something has gone really wrong unless there's like outside help coming in, right? They're by far the two most talented guys at tackle for the Jaguars. In my mind, I think that Fred Johnson and Chuma Edoga were brought in as depth. That's exactly what they should be. I know that there's some heavy rotation and competition happening right now. I think that's to get the most, the goal of that is to get the most out of their best guys. And talent-wise, production-wise, it's not close. It's Anton Harrison at right tackle and Walker Little at left tackle. I believe Liam Cohen, James Gladstone, Tony Baselli, the entire organization knows this, but I think that they want to see some guys really earning their keep. I do. And Walker Little, even though he's making $15 million per year, starting this year, and then it's a 3-year deal. There's a team out following the 2026 season, I believe. Let's check out that contract. I'm no-notesing this video, so we're just kind of having a off-the-cuff discussion here about the Jaguars' offensive tackles. Following 2026, the Jaguars could get out of the Walker Little deal, saving $13 million against the cap in 2027. So it's essentially a 2-year deal for Walker Little through 2025 and 2026. Getting a little dark in here. I'll turn on the light. The Jaguars' current regime will not be beholden to decisions of the previous regime that they don't agree with. We don't know exactly how they feel about Walker Little or Anton Harrison, quite frankly. Walker Little's 26, again, going into the first year of this new deal. That's essentially a 2-year deal. Anton Harrison going into year 3, former first-round pick. He's going to have, they're going to have contract control through 2025, 2026. And if they want to pick up the 5th-year option next offseason, they can do that to have control through 2027, right? So both of these guys, technically the Jaguars have roster control of through 2027 if they should choose to have that, right? I think right now, looking at what they have with these two, it's fair to say you have two sufficient level starters. Like these two guys are clearly starting tackles in the league. Can they be more than that is really the question, and how can you get that out of them? I think when you look at each of them, Walker Little, to me, He's big, right? 6'7", 320 pounds. He's strong, sturdily built. He's athletic. I think he has good short area explosiveness, good movement skills. I think Anton Harrison is an even better athlete. He's not as big, nearly as big as Walker Little, but he's a much better athlete, much better mover overall. Both of these guys have length. Both of them have really good pass rush efficiency, pass protection efficiency, excuse me. Each have shown signs of being able to be a good run blocker, but you haven't seen it consistently. And each of them have had an occasional blunder here or there. I mean, you're playing tackle, you're not going to be perfect, obviously, but I think you would like to find more consistency from your two guys. Again, to me, right now where they're at, they are starting caliber tackles in this league. I think they both have the talent to be more than that. Walker Little hasn't had the benefit of being an incumbent starter, of going into a season being the starter. Obviously, heading into 2023. Yeah, 2023. Walker Little was going to come in and start games to start the year because of Cam Robinson's suspension. But he knew that that was only a temporary situation. He's never had the benefit of being allowed to play 8, 10, 12, a full season of games in a row. That's just hasn't what he's been afforded during his career. And then Anton Harrison, year one, the way we kind of view young football players is really interesting because, like, as long as a rookie does like halfway decent, people are pretty excited about them for the most part. And then even if they take like incremental steps forward in the second year of their career, that's not good enough, right? So it's just kind of funny how that works. But to me, Anton Harrison had a encouraging rookie year. I think he had an encouraging second year as well. I think he improved his block framing in the run game. I think he improved his grip strength in the run game. And really, he had a couple stinkers at the beginning of the year. I think the entire offensive line had some issues against the Eagles. Newsflash, so did everybody else. Packers gave them a little bit of trouble. But other than that, I think that both of these guys were pretty good. This is to say that I think they should be trying to get more out of these two because I think there's more talent within each of them than you've seen manifest itself on the field consistently. So I do think the Jaguars should be doing everything they can to try to get that out of them. When you look at the transition from Doug Peterson to Liam Cohen, I think that there will be more built-in parts of the offense to help the tackles. But you can also look at the Doug Peterson offense and say they were getting the ball out quick. And they absolutely were. I don't think that's going to change, though. I think, Baker Mayfield overall got the ball out pretty quickly last year, and he's the type of guy that likes to dance around and hold on to the football quite a bit. I think Trevor Lawrence in this Liam Cohen offense, I think they're going to be getting the ball out pretty quickly overall. I do. So I don't think that that's going to be like a major adjustment. Like when you talk about getting the ball out quickly, that can help you not be giving up a pressure. If the ball's out in a flash, there's no time to get pressure, right? So I don't think that that's going to be like a major difference to where it's like, oh, they're going to be holding onto the ball a lot longer than this in this offense than they were before. And that's going to really impact these guys and their ability to stay in front of their opponents. I think it'll be similar in that regard. So not too concerned overall there. But I would just say right now, neither of them is like a Pro Bowl caliber player. Neither of them is like a top 10 player at their position. Walker Little is 26, I believe. Let's see here. Yeah, he just turned 26. His best football should be in front of him. Anton Harrison just turned 23. His best football should be in front of him. But it's the job of this coaching staff and the job of these players to get the most out of the ability that they have. And I think if they reach their ceiling as players, I think you could be talking about a top 10 tackle duo. I think if they play kind of how I would expect them to play based on what we've seen so far, you're probably talking about right there, about average 15, 16, something like that in the league among tackle duos. Most teams don't have great tackle duos. And I do think the Jaguars are a team that's fortunate enough to have two talented tackles. They've got to get more out of the talent that each of these guys has, in my opinion. I think Liam Cohen and this group can do that, but you've got to see it. So if I had to say right now what they are, they're about average in the NFL when it comes to their tackle group. You talk about the upgrades they made on the interior of the offensive line, or perceived upgrades by many. I think they got tougher on the interior with McCary and Hainsey. I think they got more physical. I think they got guys that really strain and play through the whistle. I think they got better in the run game. I don't know that either of those guys is really a better pass protector than what you had last year on the interior. I think Ezra Cleveland's still projected to start. Wyatt Milam could have something to say about that. We'll see. Either way, I think both of those guys are pretty tough. So I do think you'll have a level of toughness on this offensive line that maybe wasn't here before via coaching, via personnel, and just changing the energy and the attitude. So that's going to be critical. Answering the question, like, are the Jaguars offensive tackles good? I would say right now, they're pretty good. They should be better. And I went back and watched several games from last year, focusing on those tackles, and the offense was just hard to watch. I mean, it was ugly. Schematically, it felt like defenses just knew what was coming way more often than not. And I think Liam Cohen's going to have a lot to say about that. I think he's going to be much better when it comes to tendency breakers, when it comes to getting these guys playing fast, confusing defenses. Yeah. So I think that'll help these guys. I think Anton Harrison knows it's a big year for him. It's not a contract year by any stretch of the imagination, but a year in which he needs to kind of cement himself as a high-quality starter versus just like an average starter. Walker Little knows that he could be on the chopping block here in the next couple years as well. And both of these guys are going to want to prove that they belong as starters and continue to get paid as such throughout their careers. If I'm the Jaguars and they play how they have played, which is mostly pretty good, sometimes not great, right? I wouldn't be mad at them if they're looking to upgrade after the season, if that's how it continues to play out. Like if Anton Harrison doesn't take steps in the right direction, if Walker Little continues to just status quo, I wouldn't blame them for looking to potentially upgrade. Because right now they're not either at the place where it's like these are franchise cornerstones. They're guys you can win with. I don't think they're guys you're winning because of right now. And hopefully that changes in 2025. We will see throughout this offseason and into this competition. And again, I'm assuming they're both going to be in the starting lineup week one. As of right now, I don't think that has been guaranteed to anyone outside of select few players that the Jaguars really value at a high, really value very highly. This regime does. So going to be fascinating. I think that the Jaguars offensive line is right there in the middle somewhere. Can coaching get more out of it? That's the goal. But I don't think by any stretch of the imagination that this offensive line is going to be like locked in for the next several years. I think there's going to continue to be moving parts unless Anton Harrison and Walker Little take another step. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Y'all have a good one.